Trapmore gang, time could well be running out for David because the latest news that's just come out, while the LAPD and the medical examiners and TMZ are all going to war with each other fighting about what's actually true, behind the scenes, news has just broken that an LA grand jury has been convened to look at the evidence around David's Tesla, and this might mean that an indictment or an arrest could be following. It might be David, it might be Neo, it might be other people around him. But let's take a look at it, and we're going to find out exactly how close we might actually be to this case being solved. This has just come out in the LA Times today, in the last few hours, I think, that an LA grand jury is hearing the mystery of a dead teen stuffed in the trunk of David's Tesla, sources say. So shout out to Richard Winton and James Quealy at the LA Times. Okay, they're reporting madness. This is the news we've been waiting for, okay? Not quite the news we've been waiting for. You know we're waiting for that big news. But this is major. An LA County grand jury is hearing evidence related to the death of the teenage girl whose body was discovered stuffed inside the trunk of David's Tesla earlier this year. Now, it says here, although the LA Police Department has publicly declined to characterize the girl's death as a homicide, a recent court filing by an LAPD detective referred to the case as a murder investigation. Now, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has begun presenting evidence to what's known as an investigative grand jury. According to one of the sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the case with the media, one of the sources said the grand jury was in session for several days in mid-November. Now, it's the 26th as I'm recording this video. We're now officially in late November, but in mid-November, the grand jury was in session for several days. What were they looking at? Now, it's unclear whether prosecutors had completed their presentation of evidence, but no doubt evidence is being presented, and it says that prosecutors may convene an investigative grand jury to subpoena witnesses and compel other evidence, including videos. Such investigative panels may recommend charges, but cannot themselves return an indictment. But this is a big step towards justice. It says, in addition to the two law enforcement sources, a court petition provided to the Times on Monday contained a GJ number referencing the existence of a grand jury. It is a real thing. It's happening. A lot of things have been kept secret. The medical examiner is fighting with the LAPD. The LAPD is sealing the records. They don't want any information to get out about this case, okay? They're probably pissed that I'm doing all this reporting on the case, but ultimately, it's a free country. You got free speech in America, unlike England, but anyway, that's another story. In that document, LAPD Detective Joshua Byers of the Robbery Homicide Division successfully persuaded a judge to bar the LA County Medical Examiner from divulging autopsy results and other details related to the girl's death that would otherwise be public. This stuff is usually public. Normally, this would be available to the public. They would be reporting. Normally, we would know what's going on. But for some reason in this case, we don't know. But all will come out eventually, and trust me, they're not just loafing doing nothing behind the scenes. It says it was Byers who characterized the probe into the girl's death as an investigation into murder, according to the document. Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman, who handles some of the county's most high-profile murder cases, has called several witnesses before the grand jury, according to one of the law enforcement sources. Who might they be? Could it be Neo? Could it be Asia? Could it be Steve Fisher, the private investigator? He said on Twitter he can't talk about this case anymore. Does that mean that he is involved? Has he been called into the grand jury? I don't know. Maybe I'm about to get called into the grand jury. I don't have any inside information on the case, so definitely don't try and bring me into the grand jury. But clearly I know more than the average person. But it says Silverman did not immediately respond to a request for comment Wednesday. The DA's office said in a statement it could not disclose any information about grand jury proceedings. An LAPD spokesman referred the Times to a statement issued earlier this week that didn't address the existence of the grand jury. An attorney for David also didn't respond to comment. Nobody has anything to say. Okay, they're saying detectives have been looking into this months. There's all these different things about the car. We've heard all this stuff before. We don't need me to react to all of this stuff, okay? This is bad. All right, this is bad. So I want to show you just some of the backstory behind this and what everybody's thinking, okay? So over on Reddit, they're reacting to this news. There's a bunch of posts. People are saying, "Oh shoot, an indictment is coming very soon. Made my day. Finally, some much needed action. Arrest him today. Finally, he should have been arrested since the day the body was discovered." I wholeheartedly agree with that. I'm under no, I've said it a million times. If I got caught with a body in my trunk, I'm not expecting to go home, bro. I'm not even gonna fight it. It's like, yeah, bro, a body in my trunk, like, let me go sit down in the jail while you work this out, because clearly what I've got going on here is too much for me to be walking around. But apparently for David, it's all good. But yeah, people are saying Celeste will have justice. Okay, am I crazy, or does it not say they're investigating David specifically? It says, yeah, hearing evidence doesn't necessarily mean specifics, though it does say the grand jury might possibly involve subpoenaing witnesses. Hopefully this all means they are moving and we will have real charges soon. It says hopefully they apprehend him quick. He can't see family for Thanksgiving. It's all friends anyway. His family is evil. People are so happy to see progress. May Celeste get every bit of justice she deserves. This child predator and any accomplices need to lose sleep, peace, and appetite. And the reality of what happened to Celeste will have all of their stomachs in stress, guilt, nightmares, anxiety, and paranoia eating at their consciousness. I agree, that would be good. Okay, people are saying this has to be the leakiest case of all time. The LAPD is surely chafing as being portrayed as dawdling, glad to have it off their desks. Investigative grand jury plus the delay suggests that David and whoever did a thorough job locking up their devices and turning off any Tesla cameras. So they're building a circumstantial case, but they still have location services from the car and social media, and they're hinting they found something at Santa Barbara. So David or whoever will turn on each other. He's an idiot. So I'm sure he thought he was being smart, but messed up somehow along the way. Okay. So there's more posts about this. Everybody's talking about this. Is the talk of the town on Reddit today. Okay, I didn't make this up. All right, this is actually all over the place. All right, people are glad the case is moving forward. People are pasting the information. Also, this part, investigators haven't sought the performer's cooperation. What? They haven't even contacted David since September 8th? Make this make sense. Or maybe the other side of the coin is we don't need to talk to him. We got everything. We're just going to let him sweat it out. I think that is actually quite interesting. That is actually very, very interesting. So he previously apparently said no one's off the table, including him, David. Hamill said, contrary to some reports, investigators haven't sought his cooperation. Waiting 2.5 months to even talk to him. The only way that would make sense if law enforcement have so much info they don't even need to attempt to fill in the blanks. People are saying, holy effing shoot. In session almost the entire month. Other people are saying it hasn't been the whole month. A grand jury can agree that there's enough probable cause and evidence to move forward in an indictment, and it's then turned over to the district attorney's office. From there, the DA in David's case will contact his attorney and read his charges and arrange for him to turn himself in. If he elects not to turn himself in, a warrant will be issued, okay? People say, I have a feeling David will have the luxury of turning himself in to spare him from a very public arrest where they go to his home and have him on body cam with officers and guns drawn. That would be crazy. The coziness of Hollywood lawyers and the justice system leaves a lot to be desired. David should be treated the same way as anybody else accused. Now, a lot of people have been wondering, our boy, perhaps boyfriend, okay? They're wondering. They are wondering, why is the link that I have pasted not coming up? It is about to come up. It is coming. It's loading. Okay, brilliant. One second, let me get this working. Investigative grand jury forcing people to testify. Did Neo leave the country? It says, what's being alluded to? Possible witnesses not wanting to talk to the LAPD? Are we to understand that Neo left the country, is being subpoenaed to come back to the US to testify? Why wouldn't they want to clear up their involvement with David and the life and death of Celeste? If not Neo, then who? There looks to be a few people that avoided meeting with the police. Should we be surprised if more than a couple of people are arrested? This says, what I gather from the TMZ update you linked is that the grand jury will allow them to force Neo to come back for questioning. I've seen some Redditors say that he is out of the country. If that's the case, it makes perfect sense why they would want the medical examiner's findings sealed for now. Consider that if they're relying on witnesses to make this case, they'll need to keep details sealed so the defense can't argue that information was publicly known. For example, if Neo returns, provides details no one else could have known unless they were involved, then he's a credible witness. If the details he's giving are already out there in the public sphere, there is reasonable doubt and his credibility could be questioned, which is good for the defense. Okay, people saying that F-boy better not do anything. The canines will bite his thing a chick. Okay, look, I would definitely like to see. A few of these guys around David sweating and finding out the hard way. But look, okay, what does this grand jury mean? This is from the Dave Idiot subreddit. LA Times confirms grand jury is on the case. Here's what it actually means. Here's what the article means in plain English. A grand jury isn't something you convene for fun. It means prosecutors are actively building a criminal case. You only use a grand jury when there's evidence a crime occurred, there are multiple witnesses, there are digital trails to follow the charges that could be serious, and prosecutors need full subpoena power. This isn't just an investigation anymore. This is pre-charging. It's coming, people. I'm telling you, it's coming. Think of it like a series of doors. 1. LAPD investigates. 2. DA reviews the case. 3. Grand jury private courtroom phase. We are here. 4. Indictment. Formal charges. It's coming. 5. Arrest and prosecution once a grand jury is open and prosecutors get basically every tool they need. 6. They forgot 6. Life, buddy. That's number 6. Can't forget about 6, gang. Cannot forget about 6. Do not play with me. What can they do now? Subpoena any person. And it's not optional. If you're subpoenaed, you show up. This includes mods, friends, assistants, people in private Discord servers, alt accounts, insiders, anyone who communicated with David or each other. I'd like to see, if I'm adding people to the list, because I have been following this very closely, I would like to see people from his label, music managers, anybody that was at that show, family members and relatives. They're saying Celeste was backstage beside the stage, sitting with David's family, sitting with people that manage. Hey, let's hear what you all have to say. You're all quiet. You're all replying to TikToks. Let's see what that subpoena send. That's just my opinion. Okay, that's just my opinion. That's just my personal desires. I don't know. I couldn't possibly say definitively what's going on, but I would love to see a little subpoena popping out for each and every one of you clowns that enabled this disgusting behavior, allegedly, in my opinion. Subpoena anything: phones, Discord logs, private messages, Snapchats, Google data, Airbnb, hotel footage, Tesla logs, banking info, not a $9,000 a month payment under the $10,000 limit getting subpoenaed, GPS history, Santa Barbara perhaps, Uber and Lyft logs, Cash App, PayPal, NDAs, burner phones, deleted files, all of it. TikTok accounts perhaps, burner TikTok accounts. Deleted does not equal gone. The providers still have it. David, you're sweating, right? You're sweating. You thought, hey, I deleted those TikTok, all them TikTok reposts from American Psycho that I reposted. I took them off my page. They're gone, right? Some of that stuff that I did, it's not on Reddit, right? So it's David, man. David. Yo, David, man. Right, it's 2025, my G. It's 2025, my G. We're going to find that stuff. Put people under oath. If someone lies, that's perjury and a felony. Damn, managers, labels, talking about, oh, we didn't get no emails about no missing persons. Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure under the penalty of perjury, sure? Penalty of perjury? Aye. NDAs are meaningless now. A subpoena overrides any NDA. Refusing to testify because of an NDA doesn't protect anyone. You just go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. What charges could be on the table? This is a great post, by the way. Shout out to Foresight Waffler for this excellent post. What charges could be on the table? Depending on what the DA presents, the grand jury could be asked to consider. I like the little fire emojis too, because this is fire. Homicide-related charges, murder, manslaughter, criminal negligence causing death, abuse, exploitation, because Celeste was underage the entire time. She was 14 when she died. She was 14, man. This is so fucked up. I'm going to say it. I'm going to swear. Fucked up, man. It's so messed up. Found the day after her 15th birthday that she never got to see. Evidence tampering with moving the body, cleaning locations, wiping phones or laptops, kidnapping or unlawful restraint if she was transported without legal consent. These fire emojis making me hot. I'm going to have to take off my sweater. So I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling like David, man. I'm feeling the heat. Conspiracy if multiple people played a role. Not Neo, not Asia. No way. Couldn't possibly, in my opinion. And for the people around him, there are absolutely real possibilities. Accessory after the fact. Oh, gonna be some trouble. Gonna be some subpoenas in the mail, man. Helping cover anything up, even after the fact. Obstruction of justice. Deleting Discord servers. Oh no. What's that guy's name from the server? I can't even remember that weirdo guy. Was Zerks? What's that Zerks name? Zerks. What? Zerks, man. It's hot for you, Zerks, man. Wiping messages, lying to investigators, witness intimidation, tampering, threats, coercing NDAs, harassment, doxing, conspiracy, coordinating stories, not the fake stories on TMZ. Oh, no, don't tell me. Don't subpoena Harvey too. Deleting evidence together to help hide things, financial red flags, asset concealment, not moving the properties into your mama's name. That couldn't possibly be part of this, could it, in my opinion? If prosecutors believed he transferred assets to... Oh, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. To avoid seizure or liability... I think David's going to have a seizure when he sees that subpoena. He begun transferring property and business assets in September, which is the exact type of activity a grand jury examines for intent, fraud, or shielding assets before charges. It is a cookout, people. This includes anyone who participated in covering things up or hiding informations. Zerk, Safia, Neo, Asia, Celeste, Herrera, the fake Celeste. If the fake Celeste was used as a decoy to cover this up, you're going to be cooked too, and it's delicious. It's actually a cookout. Other mods, managers, anyone else with inside knowledge who acted to bury it. A lot of people are going to be sweating after this one. A lot of people are going to be watching this. I'm talking to you. A lot of people following this case that have done some of these things. You're going to be sort of feeling the heat. You might want to take your sweater off as well, man. You might want to take your little Shakaware sweater off for one time. All right. This is actually so fucked up. This is so fucked up. I can't believe it. Every deleted message, every fake story, every lie, the grand jury will see all of this now. Justice for Celeste. Some people are in deep, deep shit. Facts. Indeed, they're throwing the book at everyone as they should. Hopefully, David gets a life sentence. They're cooked. In SF's words, cooked. Interesting. I hope they don't miss out anything out, especially people from David's Discord server are very sus. What trips me out is the grand jury's been going on for 2 weeks, which more than likely means arrests are very, very soon. That's why the past couple of days, everything's been so crazy and everyone's been talking out. It's getting close. Let's effing go. Thank you so much for an informative break. That was actually an exceptional breakdown. That was an insanely good breakdown. A massive respect to the person who put this together. It says, that's amazing that they're at the stage of a grand jury. Am I correct that a grand jury determines if the car F goes to trial? I don't actually know what that means. Am I being dumb? If the car F goes to trial? I know grand jury and a trial jury are sworn to secrecy, but with a grand jury, you cannot tell any details even years after, no? I have so many questions. Is it normal for Google, Snapchat, Tesla, etc. to act so quickly in okaying subpoenas to obtain records? I assume digital forensics are using cell site or other digital tools for deleted files. Sorry if these are silly questions. I'm blown away at how much manpower this took from the beginning, considering how the LAPD robbery homicide division have so many cases. They're working overtime from the start. Such good news. Justice for Celeste. Yes, they can determine if the evidence presented is enough to follow through with the indictment. So that means that no matter what, if you're subpoenaed, you have to go no matter what. The heat is turned up so much that I need to actually hydrate myself with currently drinking. I want to say what I'm not even trolling. It's actually not trolling, but I'm drinking Liquid Death iced tea right now. It's very nice. That's not even anything to do with it. It's just, I'm just telling you that. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Okay. Basically, this is insane. Okay. Now, a lot of people are saying they can't wait to see David's mugshot. Okay. They're saying the arrest is coming. My fidget toy. The arrest is imminent. They're saying we can't wait to see David's mugshot. Hopefully any day now. I hope the trial is televised so the world can see that POS for what he truly is. They're saying it's California, so it will be. We're going to get the O.J. Simpson style trial. This is actually going to be insane. The Asia, Neo, and David mugshots will be memorable. People saying they can't wait. You're going to be sad when he walks, but at least we know the truth. No more convincing. Downvote for that. He might walk. Dad is a pretty big deal. Downvote for that. No, he's not. There's nothing said of importance regarding his father. Here's a spoon to be fed with until you get out of boot camp. You're dismissed. What the hell is going on? People think he might himself, but I don't think. I feel like if anything, he thinks he's going to beat it. I think he's a very arrogant person, and I think he is actually thinking he's going to beat this and he's gonna sort this out now. Before I wrap this video up, okay, I just want to cover something else. This is a little bit of kind of like housekeeping. Do I want to get into this? You know what? I'm going to break this down more in another video. I'll come back with another video and go in a little bit more deeply. But what I'll do is I'll just give you one little teaser of kind of the topic that I want to talk about. So there's been this whole thing. There's been a big beef between the LAPD and the medical examiner, right? And I think what I'll do actually is I'll come back on tomorrow and I'll do like a full deep dive just on that, because I think that's really interesting, and the implications of the LAPD and the medical examiner kind of having a weird little beef at the moment is actually like very insane. It's very strange. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people are just like, what the hell? How is the medical examiner and the LAPD actually having a beef and they're at odds publicly? Now, I'll get into that more in another video, but I did want to point out this post because I feel like this actually A lot of people have been on the LAPD's head, you know, myself too. When this all kicked off, I felt like, yo, like, why are they not getting, why is not no arrest? I assumed if I was in the same shoes as David, I would be getting arrested immediately. And that's like my faith in the traditional justice system. As far as I have an expectation that if I get caught with a body in my trunk, I'm not sleeping in my bed that night, in my sweet, comfy, lovely king-size mattress that night. I'm assuming I'm sleeping in a one-bed cot and smelling a next man's dookie. But apparently, that's not how it works, okay? And a lot of people have felt like the LAPD have let them down, but I feel like this post is interesting, and people are basically defending the LAPD. And I feel like now that we're hearing about this grand jury, I feel like it is very fair to say, look, clearly people are doing their jobs and things are happening behind the scenes. The wheels of justice are moving slowly, but they're moving nonetheless. This says the LAPD and LA prosecutors are doing their jobs, and this wild speculation is everyone on here just anxious for David to be punished. All of this, including the latter, is normal. And I appreciate this because a lot of people, they've hated on me for making videos about the story. They've been upset about the subreddits or, you know, the investigators or the TikTokers. But I do actually think not only is it important to have a free press, to have free speech, to have people have their opinions, I think it's also important for a community to stand up and say, why are we, like, we can't live in a society where you have dead bodies found in your trunk and you just get to go home. That's not, I'm not cool with that. If my neighbor, shout out to my neighbor, but if my neighbor gets caught, if I'm out walking the dog and I'm smelling rotten meat every single day at a parked Tesla, illegally parked, and I eventually phone it in and it turns out there's a dead body, I'm not trying to wave good morning to my neighbor no more. You need to be in jail till we work this shit out. So I feel like the public is really trying to demand answers, and I feel like that's completely reasonable. And I think the creators that are talking about this, the investigators, Steve Fisher, even TMZ, as much as people are saying they got things wrong and they're running defense for David, at the end of the day, this is a major story. This is like the O.J. Simpson trial. This is going to be like the O.J. Simpson trial for this generation. But David's, I don't know. Can you even, like, is he really? I feel like he's now, because this story is so high profile, he's kind of getting on the level of O.J. Simpson in notoriety. But as far as actual cultural impact and relevance, I don't know. A lot of people hadn't heard of David before this thing. But I do feel like everybody is just trying to play their part. We're all trying to make sense of what's going on. And really, the only person who is out of line is the person that did this. I said I thought I'd try and post a more grounded post than I usually see on these subreddits. By subreddits, I mean the big three. Hey, shout out the big three. r/Celeste, rDavid2, and rDavid Idiots. Shout out the big three, but there is only big me. Anyway, I think much of the anger and frustration we're seeing is from the deprived and the horrific nature of this crime, plus a mix of non-Americans, youth, and armchair sleuths who are unfamiliar with the American legal system. Everything we've seen so far, including the lack of arrest and the length of time it took to name David as a suspect, and the insane media speculation, about frozen bodies, is normal in a high-profile case such as this. The founders of the nation deliberately made the legal system as it is to ensure that not just anybody could be accused of a crime without powerful evidence on behalf of the state, DA, or government. Good point. I personally believe that David is a disgusting... This is their opinion. They personally believe David is a disgusting child predator who probably killed Celeste Rivas Hernandez in a fit of rage after some sort of argument and fear of her exposing the nature of the relationship with the help of some accomplices. I totally agree. Totally agree. But my opinion and feelings are irrelevant. What TMZ posts is irrelevant. The grand jury is secret for that reason. Strip away the fame, the music, the tabloid sensationalism, and this murder investigation and speed of process is pretty normal. The only problem is we have a Casey Anthony type situation where the jury verdict is severely disconnected from public opinion. But that's relatively normal too in a high profile case like this. Okay. I thought this was a great post. I thought they were talking a whole lot of sense, okay? We're all trying to get to the bottom of this. There is an insane amount of public interest in this story. It's a bizarre story. I don't think... Is there any other celebrity that's been caught with a body in their trunk? Like, celebrity found with body in trunk. And then I'm going to go celebrity found with body in trunk. But I'm going to go... Let's say, like, before 2024. And sometimes the SEO messes up. Actor found dead in trunk, buried at Rio. Actor Jefferson Mercado found dead in a trunk. That's indexed wrong, so these shouldn't actually be there. 1993, a mummified body was found in... Like, nothing like this has ever happened. Nothing like this has ever happened. Cynthia Burton was found... This is not a famous singer with billions of streams. David had 5 billion streams under his belt. before this thing. Nothing like this has ever happened, okay? So I don't think anybody's at fault for being really interested in this story. Like, this is up there with the OJ story. Now, 2 people died in the OJ story, but the body wasn't found in a trunk. I feel like more effort has been made to cover this up. I feel like OJ actually probably was lucky to have caught this case at a time when there was maybe less as far as investigation, evidence, DNA, social media, all that kind of thing. But David could still beat this thing. David might not get charged. I think that's unlikely. I feel like we are going to see charges soon. But anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let me know what you guys think. I will keep you guys updated, and I will do a couple more videos because there's actually like 3 or 4 David-related topics that they're not really trending current events, but they are little things that I've noticed about this case, and I've kept records and I've kept links. I've got documents on documents about this stuff. So I will try and come back tomorrow and do like a bigger update on a few different things if you guys are interested. But yeah, that's what they're saying. The grand jury is assembled and an arrest may well follow soon. What do you guys think, man? Do you think David's cooked? Do you think we'll be seeing his arrest before Christmas? It's about to be Thanksgiving tomorrow, so might miss the deadline for that. If they pull up and arrest him on Thanksgiving, that is actually diabolical of the LAPD. But like, hey, is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support. I've got a lot of good content coming soon. I ain't going to say too much. Thank you so much. See you there. Peace.